morning to everyone who is watching the fifth installment to the Youth Convos podcast. We appreciate everyone who is watching currently, and we hope you enjoy the show. Anyway, we have Jan Kelmendi, the Brooklyn Prospect Voice President, the second branch of Youth Convos. Anyway, Jan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hello, my name is Jan Clemendi. I am a sophomore at Brooklyn Prospect Charter School. I first heard about Sty Voices when one of my really close friends from middle school invited me to it, and I went to the meeting and I actually valued it a lot because I felt like I learned a lot of information, and I kept going to the meetings regularly and made made friends with leaders of the clubs, and am now working with them to try to make it into a club into my school, so integrated into my school. So yeah.
Thank you, Jan. We really appreciate having you today. Anyway, let's go right to the first topic. What we will be discussing is the Israel and Palestine conflict. Anyway, as you all might know, conflict has been escalating recently, with the most recent death count being 30 on the Palestinian side. Anyway, Syed, hit it. Search it up. Let's look. Give the audience some substance, and then we could discuss.
All right. So White House says Israel actions work against solution to crisis. The clash began Friday when Palestinians threw stones at Israeli police occupying the Al-Aqsa Mosque.
Okay. Search up another one. The recent 30 people who were killed. 30 people killed. Wow, you just searched it up. Okay, the first one.
That's crazy.
So Israel had airstrikes, and they killed 33 Palestinians. And right now there's a lot of unrest between the Hamas side and the Israeli side. And as you can see, a lot of missiles. Hamas are the people who are fighting for Palestine.
Are they violent?
Yes, basically a terrorist group.
Yeah. They are a terrorist group.
Thank you, Cameron.
I'm pretty sure they started firing 600 rockets toward Israel, towards civilian areas specifically.
Mm-hmm. How about Israel?
Israel was targeting Hamas, but Hamas was hiding within civilian areas.
Wait, how did they get rockets? Wow.
Because they're terrorists? Or are you talking about Israel?
Bro.
I'm pretty sure you could buy a nuke.
You go from who? Who's gonna
cannot buy a nuke?
I'm serious. No, I'm serious.
Bro, buy one from Iran.
There's a market for everything, bro. There's a market for
everything. You could.
There can.
Buy a nuke.
Wait, bro. What did they shoot the rockets with?
They have they're like RPGs.
Oh, so it's not
they're not
up in the
they're
sky.
They're not ballistic missiles, I guess.
So RPGs.
They're smaller missiles, but they still blow up things.
Still horrible. 30 civilians died.
It's kind of weird because well, I don't think anyone deserves to die, and I think either. I don't think they should be killing civilians. Israel or
purposely aim it at civilians.
Well, I think they've targeted, or Israel's targeted civilian areas, according to what they say. You believe it or not, that Hamas is hiding in, civilian buildings, which I guess it's feasible, but I don't know if that justifies it.
Well,
but I guess to me, it seems like without the Iron Dome, which I think is a very, very cool technology, and it's also very, it's a good technology just in general. Kind of like what Star Wars sought out to be in the 80s, or the Strategic Defense Initiative. Without that, Israel would be way worse right now. So
it would be destroyed because a very few of those rockets actually hit because of the Iron Dome. And I think the Iron Dome, there's some news that the Iron Dome, because it takes up so much electricity, Israel is having a electric like crisis right now, kind of.
Electric power outage, or it's just
Kind of like that, because um, it's taking so much. It says Israel's energy pipeline hits because the Iron Dome is taking up so much electricity.
anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, previous to this, Israel was acting pretty aggressively, right? Kicking Palestinians out of East Jerusalem. Syed, if you would mind searching it up. Basically evicting Palestinians out of their homes and seizing their land. So Israelis were given money and promoted by the government to go into certain areas and kick people out. That's the general consensus. Anyway, Jan, what do you think about the Israel and Palestinian conflict?
So they were paid money to like move into
They
different
were
areas.
Israeli government supported, technically.
So like, but when they did that, they like kicked out the people living there, right?
Yes, we could watch videos. Saad, we all know Saad, right?
Bro,
He's
Saad,
seen a lot of TikToks.
Saad, bro, no cap, bro. Saad is gonna educate Sai. I mean, I don't really know that much about this. I only know what you guys tell me.
Mhm. What do you think?
Um,
Just based on what we've talked about in previous meetings.
Bro, it's not a good thing. Straight up,
Mhm. Okay.
it's not good. You can't be doing that. It's like, that's not cool, bro. Can't be like kicking
Very
people out.
constructive.
Nobody's like supportive of Israel like kicking them out.
I want Israel to get kicked out.
No, because no, I mean Israel kicking like nobody's supportive of like Israel kicking them out. That's what I said. Like kicking them as in Palestinian.
Joseph wants Palestinians to get kicked out.
No,
Joseph?
I've been saying that like Palestine's been starting these conflicts. Palestine just hasn't. Palestine's like doing all this.
Bro, how?
Okay.
In a way.
Okay. Why would Israel start something? They don't need
Exactly. They don't
They
want
already
to
have the
fight.
gold.
Palestine wants the violence.
to. I mean, they're already the victors.
No, that's actually cap.
But they have a lot of prejudice against the
that's not
Palestinians.
true. They have like, well, it's not. I mean, this isn't entirely true, but I mean, there were like some kind of like whack. I mean, it's kind of you know how like 1/3 of of Israel's like Orthodox Jews.
Yeah.
It's like hardcore, like they're like hardcore. I mean, it's kind of like Sod. Just like think of Sod, but the other side.
Yeah.
I mean, would you want
pretty
Sod running the? What do you want Sod running the Saudi Arabian government?
Yeah, I mean, he would be better, honestly.
Yeah, because they have like kings and stuff and they're mad corrupt. Like I think Saddam would actually like try to follow it because there's like Sharia law, right? So they have to. It's like Islamic law. So I feel like Saddam would actually follow the Islamic law instead of just like trying
It's
to.
not like justifies murder, which I don't really like, but
Well, the religion justifies murder.
What do you
That's
mean?
not, like, a
Murder
good
can be
argument, though.
justified.
Well, I think Sod would follow Sharia law better, but I don't think he would be a better ruler necessarily. It means basically I'm saying I don't agree with Sharia.
None of us would be good rulers. We don't have the
yeah, literally,
experience.
we're just kids, bro.
Yeah. Imagine a 17-year-old
that's
like
true.
hung
I mean,
up to Saudi
yeah.
Arabia.
No, but Saad would definitely be a very violent like leader.
Oh, you think
Bro,
he would be power hungry?
Bro, he's like he justifies a lot of the violence. He's like, well, yeah, that's what the Israelis get right now.
No, because that's just like how he's taught.
Yeah, that could be it.
I don't know, have biases. I think it's justified, but I don't agree with the death
I
part.
don't think the 600 rockets towards civilians could be justified in any way. Because they're not like targeted toward like Israeli army
kicked people
bases.
out.
They're just targeted like in Israeli cities. And
Israel
like, a
kicked
school was
out
hit.
a large portion. No, they tried to kick out a large portion of East Jerusalem, right? And they've also killed people unjustly who were protesting, peacefully protesting. They've thrown sound grenades. So I could see.
Not all of the protests were peaceful
Look,
though. Like
I know.
let's be like.
Yeah, Joseph. Yeah. I mean, I think what's Safe's trying to say, if you can tell me if I'm right, is that
Yeah.
I mean there is like legitimate. You can have legitimate problems with Israel
Mhm.
or Israel's like actions without like totally opposing like the legitimacy as a state. I mean, like you can be for like Israeli reform without being pro Hamas. I mean, there's like a middle ground.
Yeah, I understand. Like, I'm not saying all the things in Israel just like are good. Like, there's some wrong things, but like, right now, the current situation was started by the Palestinian side.
Hey man, no, it wasn't.
It literally
Not
was,
right
bro.
now, because they were kicked out of their homes, and people
No, I'm talking about like
wanted
right
to
now. Like,
retaliate.
I'm not talking about like years ago. I'm talking like right now.
Like
The
what
current
happened right now.
situation. Yeah, that
But
was
it was
started by
started.
Palestine.
I mean, they were kicked out of East Jerusalem a couple weeks ago. That was like the crisis, and then people were peacefully protesting. Well, not all of them. Of course, there's going to be violent protests. There's violent protests in America. There's violent protests everywhere.
But
There was a lot
I
of
was gonna
police
say I thought
brutality.
the protests were because of Eid coming up this Thursday.
Yeah, Cameron, did we talk to you about this? Them banning halal food in
That's
France and
wild.
Belgium,
Oh, I heard about that. I thought that was kind
and
of
also
wild.
kosher
Really?
food. Joseph, it's so sad.
Is that real?
Bro,
I
Why?
don't know. I'm not like.
That's so dumb. I'm gonna be honest. I love halal food, so like
You mean like the bootleg shit from like the cars?
yeah, but still, I mean, it's like it's like specially prepared. I probably like the real stuff too. I imagine.
Yeah, Turkish food.
Wait,
Yeah, I
why
mean,
would
I
they
like-
ban
I
it
mean, like-
though?
But I mean, how do you ban like a way of? Isn't it just a way of preparing food? Like, isn't it like kosher salt? Like,
So,
it's just, like
No,
basically-
it's the way you kill it, bro.
yeah, they're banning the non-use of stun guns. So you have to use a stun gun to kill an animal. And in Islam and in Judaism, correct me if I'm wrong, Joseph, you can't use a stun gun.
I just know that you just only use a sharp knife because you don't want the animal to feel pain, and like the only pain that it feels is like the slight cut of the throat. So I'm guessing like the stun gun is not the pain that is described in like the Bible.
Yeah, and also a stun gun, it has been concluded that it also causes pain. Like, imagine your whole body cramping. That's pretty much what the animal feels.
Bro, I think there was a study like that like
Isn't it-
connected a machine to like the brainwaves like when animals were slaughtered like kosher or through the halal way, like
Mhm.
their brainwaves just like became flat right away because they're disconnected from the
Yeah.
body.
Because we cut them right here, right? And we try to go
Yeah, so like I don't
past
know how
the
the
spine.
animal would feel pain. No, some of them are like definitely not
Yeah.
doing it right, and that would be considered kosher or halal. But like that way is supposed to be the most humane way in
Yeah.
comparison to like other European methods. Like
I
that's
mean,
like 200
look at
300
like
years.
you know how in the U.S. our executions are done by like lethal injection,
Mhm.
and they like
Mhm.
sometimes don't work and stuff like that. It's probably the lethal injection is probably more like painful and like being just like like beheaded or I mean I don't really know.
Beheaded probably doesn't feel that bad.
I mean I've heard that once you're beheaded like the guillotine you could like stay alive for up to 5 seconds.
Dude, that's so
But
cap.
There's nothing.
But what would you
I
I mean
feel?
it's possible because I don't know what you'd feel because your nerves because your brain might still have oxygen for like 5 seconds. It's like holding your breath, right?
For 5 seconds?
Yeah, I mean you would and then you eventually you'd bleed out and stuff. So there'd be going you probably I don't know how long you stay alive for. That might just be I don't know. Anyway, I think it's kind of dumb because I don't think a stun gun is any more humane or any especially more humane than anything else.
Mhm.
What's their reasoning? That
I
stun
also
gun
don't
is
think we need
not,
to
like,
Do you know the reason?
they're
why?
animals like it's our
Basically,
no idea.
it's a lot of ignorance, and they think stun guns would put the animal down easily. And also, since a lot of people eat kosher and halal in Europe, right? It's a really profitable industry, so there's a lot of corruption, of course. And the bad Muslims are making the Muslims look bad, and the bad Jewish people are making the Jews look bad.
Wait, also I heard that like they want to do it for like they want to stun it because like when you get like tased or something, you know how your body stops moving. So, like, they want to do that to the animal because like they don't want it to like kick them or something.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
they want
what.
it
That's
to
also
move,
a.
when they die. Like, they don't want it to be able to like cause harm to the person killing it.
I don't know about Christian slaughter methods, but I'm pretty sure for Judaism
We should have no
and
slaughter
Islam,
method.
Christian doesn't really have any like we don't have equivalent of kosher or halal.
Yeah, it's really
We
nice.
basically
Which-
have to let the animal down easy, right? It has to be on the floor. You can't like kill it standing,
Also, the animal is not supposed to know it's about to die.
and it can't see other animals getting killed before it.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be calm.
For Christians, it doesn't matter. You just like you could kill them for fun because
Yeah.
it's like
Can you? Is
Well,
actually
made
God
animals.
gave us dominion over the earth.
wait? So
Wait, because Christians think
game
like
hunting is okay?
yeah,
Yeah, you're allowed to game hunt. I mean, you're supposed to value animal life,
Mhm.
but you're allowed to kill animals. But I mean,
It sounded like the controversy when
you're allowed to kill animals, but you should really only
Do it for food.
you should
Yeah, like if
generally
you
only
eat
do
it.
it for food. I mean, game hunting. I don't think game hunting goes against church doctrine. Unless it's like animal abuse where you're like torturing it, then it would be. I think.
How about
yeah.
you, Joseph, in Judaism?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not allowed in Judaism because you can't kill an animal like that. But like,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, because it's not you're not in danger, so there's no need to kill it. But I don't know like why in regular life, like not like the religious life, it's frowned upon because the meat is usually eaten, and even if people like put a horn on their like wall, I think if they eat the animal, like it's not a waste of a hunt. So like,
But how did they kill the
I don't know
animal?
why it's frowned upon. Like,
How did
as
they kill
much.
the animal?
You eat it though, like. It's
Yeah, in
not-
Islam, you can game hunt technically, but if you don't eat the
Yeah.
animal, then you get bad deeds.
Wait, but it wouldn't be
How would
halal.
you game hunt? I mean,
How safe? Explain.
What? Like if you shoot the animal properly and it dies in one blow, I think. But
So you just
Sai,
need a-
can you check it?
if you're, I think
No, bro, I'm pretty sure halal and kosher, it has to be like one method of execution, bro.
It has to be with like a sword or a knife, bro. You can't have you
Yeah.
can't.
Oh, okay. Nah, I'm probably wrong then.
No, bro, because remember like the other day, like we were like
Yeah,
talking
bro.
about like the
Yeah,
best
recreation hunt.
water and animal.
Recreational.
Well, if you-
I mean,
Yeah.
it's according to Quran.
Yeah, but how if you eat them?
No, because it's safe. Remember, like we were talking about.
Satisfying one's
Like,
hunger and
Alex was
self-defense
saying-
purposes.
Alex was saying like like the best way to do it is like shoot it in his head,
Mm-hmm.
and he like showed us like a video of like cows getting shot in the head and then they're like dying right away. And it
Did
was,
he
like,
actually show that video? I don't know.
you were there, bro. You watched it. You
No,
talked.
I left.
That's cap. No, not in this in the chat in the group chat. He sent it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like he
Anyway.
was saying like because there like that video like the cows are like dying right away, and like in a halal way he was saying like they don't die like right on the spot. They die like a couple seconds after.
Bro, Alex is crazy.
Well,
He's a
actually, like,
troll.
he's actually like mad disrespectful, no cap.
Yeah, but that's Alex. He just doesn't care.
No, but that like bro, like that's not even manners.
Yeah.
He has no manners by saying stuff like that.
I mean, we've destroyed him.
Yeah, he has no argument. But still, but like for him to say like no, your religion is like fake, like just like if you say that to anyone, that's mad disrespectful. Like,
Yeah.
why would you say that, even if you disagree? You say like,
Yeah,
yo,
if
Bro,
this was during
I
Crusade.
understand. I kind of understand agnostic people, but people that are like atheists and like they like go out to try to disprove religion, it just like one, you're just like being disrespectful. Like, what?
Mhm.
You just seem like. I mean, you just seem like even if you are right. I mean, I still use the religion even if it's wrong. So I mean, I don't even understand. Like,
I mean, I think people
Like,
could
it's
believe
not,
whatever they
but,
want
like-
to believe.
What, Joseph?
I think people could believe whatever they want to believe, like if they're atheists or like if they're religious.
I
as
don't
long as
know.
you're, like, not harming anyone.
They like think it's like a cult for some reason, and it really isn't.
Bro, but like they're kind of a cult too, though, because
Oh,
they're gonna like believe everything that goes against religion. Like,
Yeah, I mean, some
Okay,
of I think it's more of the online things, like Reddit atheist kind of
Anti-vax.
crowd, like the internet online kind of crowd. I don't think like normal
He's
Yeah.
agnostic.
people
by
that
the
are
way.
agnostic. He's not agnostic. He's an atheist.
He
I like
told
to
me.
make a different.
He moved. I'm not even kidding. We talked to him, and then he said, "Okay, I'm agnostic now."
I
but he's
You-
still like every time he's still trying
still-
to.
I like to make that differentiate different. I mean, I'd like to make that like notice the difference because or point out the difference because I think it is a significant
Okay,
Thing.
let's move on.
Wait, hold on. I was thinking today, about like religion, and if you think about like the past 600 years, 700 years, religion has been used like in terrible ways in Europe. But then again, like I was thinking to myself, there's other ways religion impacted people because it was like hope for people. Like during the plague, people were even if they died, they were still like hopeful until the last moment. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of one of the good things about religion because there's hope.
It gives you a sort of like
Like
it gives you happiness for the next life. Even if you're about to die, you can still leave this life with a certain level of emotion. If you get
yeah, and you could also like even if you're in a bad situation and it's out of your control, you could just like be
Justified.
relieved that you
You
don't
don't
have
have to
to
feel helpless.
Yeah, it's just hope. That's like what's good about it.
Anyway, speaking of non-religious people, let's talk about China.
How did you
Please,
spell
Syed, take
Palestine
it off.
wrong, Steve?
Take it off, please. Did I actually?
I mean,
Cameron, calm
pretty
down.
sure you did.
But that's
I spelled
that's not a
birthday
bad thing
wrong,
for China.
but they're very
Birth rate?
non-religious.
Well, I think,
China has
Pretty bad.
overpopulation, no?
well,
Yeah, but they're non-religious.
well, not
They have-
all of China's
they have
overpopulated.
gods
It's just
that
the cities,
they believe in?
but they have like big cities. I
Wait,
mean,
let me
How could
introduce
you
the
feed so
topic.
many people? Like if
let me
you keep on
introduce
like
the topic first.
repopulating.
Anyway, guys, China's birth rate is the lowest it's been so far. Anyway, Jan, since you're our guest, please, what do you think of this?
Well, why though?
What do you
Oh my
think
God, it's
this
so little.
implies?
That's like a fact. Like I don't have like I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it unless you give me like more context. Like I can't say it's like good or bad unless you like tell me why. It's
birth- I mean, for the future of a country, a high birth rate is better. Just because like you don't want your population to decrease for
Nigeria.
various reasons. Like Nigeria is probably gonna. I mean, like India, like its birth rate is like mad high. It's gonna isn't it? I think it's supposed
No,
to
they
set
lowered it,
like
bro.
overpass China, but like in like less than 20 years in
like from
population.
different perspectives, this could definitely be seen as like a really good thing and like a really bad thing. Like it really just
Well,
depends on perspective.
A lot less good.
China has so many people, it can like, it's like a lot. I mean, it's understandable for them to want. I mean, it's not like a problem for them to have a decreasing population slowly, but I mean, in like for like us, I think it's important for our population. I mean,
Cameron, this is horrible for China. I mean, the only way people justify China was going to overtake America is because of their huge population, right? They have so many workers, they have so much output. And if their birth rate keeps falling, at a certain point, maybe 40, 50 years, when people project China will overtake the United States, it won't, because everyone's going to be old. And as we know, productivity decreases with age.
Wait, safe. I thought you didn't like China. This is like a good thing for United States then.
Yeah,
that's
it is really
Yeah.
good for the United States. But this is really bad for China because they're going to lose their edge.
bro. It's really good for
I
the
don't know.
world
If
because
it's not. Is it that bad for China
Really
if
good
you
for
were
the world.
mandating it?
no. I'm not like not because there should be less Chinese people. It's because like if you think about it, the amount of slaughterhouses that are made to feed the Chinese population is like really high, and if the population kept growing, it would be not sustainable. I don't think the population even in the U.S. should keep on increasing that much. I think it should just like stabilize at this point. We don't need such a high population on the earth, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, doesn't China produce 30% of the world's pollution?
Yeah, China produces already so much pollution. Like it's hard to
All the
sustain
other
so many
countries
people
combined,
without
it's
causing
crazy.
pollution.
Yeah.
I think the U.S. also shouldn't like grow that much. Like there should be a limit.
Comparatively
India
to
should have a
China,
limit.
our pollution's really low. But this is really bad for China. Good for America and good for the Uyghurs.
Is it
Or Uyghurs.
I
okay?
don't think it affects the Uyghurs at all.
It doesn't
Maybe.
affect the or say, but like the one-child policy was was instituted like I mean it was like 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, don't they want? I mean, doesn't that imply they want a lower population if they were mandating people have one child?
It's because during Mao Zedong, people kept having children and he was promoting like 9 children per family because you got benefits. And then China realized, wow, having this much children is going to at one time just crashed the economy. And then China instituted the one-child policy. I'm pretty sure they're going to institute a three-child policy soon, because if they keep falling like this, they might be like Japan. And Japan, even though they can't force it, they're doing a lot of incentives to get people having babies. And it's not anime's fault. I'm just saying. Okay. Yeah,
Do you guys also think there's like an overpopulation like issue in
I
the
don't think
world
so.
in general?
I
People
mean,
exaggerate it.
How it is, yes.
people.
Not
I mean,
exaggerated though.
the U.S. isn't really overpopulated, I would
Yeah, I
say.
don't
But I
know
mean,
about the
I feel like, I feel like it could become a problem, especially in like poorer countries where you can't like, they don't have like infrastructure to support people. I mean, like Nigeria, like the average birth rate is like 5.3 or something like that. It's kind of
Their
ridiculous.
economic growth is crazy.
That's
Yes,
true,
because
but I guess that's true. You have to
Because-
see, but it could become a problem, especially.
no,
you
but
know,
as a country develops, their birth rate decreases. So like that shouldn't be
Yeah,
an issue.
it's kind of. Look at like Japan is like the most
Japan needs
severe
more people.
problem. They don't accept people because they want to like. It's kind of, they have a kind of weird. They want to like maintain their ethnic.
They want to pure. They want to be pure.
Yeah, but their population.
Kind of effed up. Yeah, but I think it's just over exaggerated, because if we have equal distribution of food, and if we become more sustainable, we'll be able to have a higher population in different countries. And the way people say it, it's like all the children are just gonna start eating trees and we're all gonna die. But if we just
Bro, but like
maintain
the
sustainability,
pollution is so high right now, and like how much food can we grow? Like if you want to continue eating meat, how much food can you grow?
oh, by the way, that's a myth.
What do you mean it's a myth?
90% of the food that animals eat, right? It's inedible to humans. So
Yeah, no, but you still have to grow
corn-
it. You have to like water it.
Water what?
The
Water the
food.
food you're feeding humans.
No, like there's so much resources just like for developing, not plant food, just like and like if you want to eat meat and if you want to
Yeah, if they eat it,
eating
it
meat
comes
for, like,
out
a
in
low
urine.
price.
Then it goes back in the system. Then
Yeah, but it still costs money though for the farmers, for example.
it costs
And
money.
it's
but
just
it's-
supply and demand, bro. Demand's gonna be higher.
Yeah, we
and
should
supply is gonna
promote
be
a lower
constant.
birth rate in countries. Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Joseph.
I think it's honestly more costly to maintain all those plants. Because we know
Clients.
farmers aren't doing well at all anymore. And with like all the not that GMOs are bad, because GMOs are pretty good in my opinion.
Mhm.
But farmers have to pay for seeds, new seeds every single year, and they're paying it at a loss. So they can't even reuse seeds of plants because the GMO companies that make the plants
Yeah, bro, shit. Things are getting
require them to
expensive.
buy seeds. I think
There's
like
so much inflation.
It's not only inflation though; it's just supply and demand too.
I mean, right now a lot of inflation.
Yeah, right now.
Move
it
on
is,
to the
bro.
next topic.
You guys want to move on? Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
Next
flip on
topic,
over.
Syed. This is really horrible.
What the
and
hell is this?
It's
It's
horrible. So as we all know, India has been suffering the heaviest COVID outbreak ever, and people are dying left and right. Crematoriums are losing space, and a lot of families are distraught. And lately, 50 bodies came up from the river Ganges. These people are afflicted of COVID, and this is a very, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, the river Ganges is a very religious river.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
Genji? Right, it's a religious river. So when someone dies, they might put the body on the river. I'm not sure though, but a
I
lot
don't
of
think so necessarily. I think it's just a symptom of that so many people are dying.
they just throw them in the holy water. Maybe, but
That's
it's
not
super
different.
horrible.
Why is this a river Ganga?
Oh,
Well, it may
river
be the same
Ganges.
thing.
Ganji? Yo, search up the diction. Search up on YouTube River Ganges diction. Ganges River diction. Oh, we could watch this video.
I mean, Addiction.
Yeah, addiction. China
Therefore,
steals
one more
people's
time,
scooters.
if you see there is a very, very deliberate attempt to hoodwink the system and break the rule, then we will arrest the person also.
For now, Bengaluru's markets and stores are closed. There aren't many people here, but they don't maintain social distancing. After providing some relief to the poor, there's nothing wrong with a lockdown. Vaccinations are proceeding slowly in a country desperate for some way to bring infections under control. People are facing so many problems. They are sitting on a powder keg. They can easily get infected unless an alternative is found, like distributing the vaccines in more places, like community halls or playgrounds. There's no countrywide policy in place, and critics say the government has abdicated responsibility by leaving vaccinations to the individual states. That's resulted in a scramble. In Punjab province, people crowding a vaccination center put themselves and others at risk. We had to call the police to maintain social distancing, but to no avail. People are not listening to us at all, and we've been telling them continuously since morning to maintain distancing. Medical workers have mounted protests against the government's handling of the coronavirus, and the Indian Medical Association has called on the government to impose what it calls a complete, well-planned lockdown across the country. For weeks now, states have been competing for scarce resources, including oxygen. They've been left to the mercy of the market, leading to more anger and frustration with the government in Delhi.
Let's bring in our correspondent, Nimisha Jaiswal in Delhi. Nimisha, given the dire circumstances with the pandemic in India, why is the government hesitating to impose a nationwide lockdown?
Well, Terry, while there is no nationwide lockdown, most of the country is living under restrictions. Almost all the major cities are seeing a total lockdown, and many other districts are also seeing either a full or a partial lockdown. So this hesitation to impose a national lockdown is being criticized still because the need to break the chain of transmission is still prevalent. Now, rural India is facing the scourge of the coronavirus, suffering even more so because many cases can't even be diagnosed, let alone treated, because of a lack of healthcare infrastructure, and both vaccines as well as following of restrictions in these areas is limited right now, which is why there are such calls. However, last year's national lockdown was extremely unpopular, and there is analysis that perhaps the hesitation of the Narendra Modi government to impose another one rests on this fact.
It's a monumental challenge trying to vaccinate the hundreds of millions of Indians who are still needing vaccination. Is the vaccination program beginning to gather pace?
Can you pause it? I'm just going to talk about it. It's going to be like, it's going to go on for 3 more minutes.
What do you guys think?
Well, I think it's fucked up.
The government?
I don't think anyone should die, but obviously. So, I mean, it's just kind of like, I mean, there might be a need for a lockdown, but as she said, I mean, people might not just might go against it. And she said that most of the cities in like densely populated areas are already in lockdown. So it's kind of hard because in like India, there's just not the infrastructure we have in the United States. So it's kind of hard because in the US, I mean, we didn't necessarily need lockdowns, where in India, you might have a different situation. So I don't really want to comment, but it's kind of sad, I guess.
What, can you go back to that, Syed? To the YouTube. Do you guys have anything to add on?
Another COVID-19.
What can we do? I think Australia
Oh.
tried to give assistance. Yeah, Jan?
The government needs to start doing stuff. I mean, like,
What can they do?
since they're having like, they need to like ask like some countries for help because they have shortages.
Mm-hmm.
They need to ask for like resources.
Australia is currently helping them.
Yeah.
The United States should come. I mean, the UN should have a group effort. If India goes deeper in this rabbit hole, It's gonna affect everyone because they produce a lot of goods.
Yeah, because it'll just increase cases and it would like spread.
Yeah, you see the side? It says China releases population census. This side, it's right there. No, right there.
Oh.
Wow, it's like on the side. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
China's population is growing at its slowest pace in decades. That's according to the latest census data out today. And the baby bust could have enormous implications for the country's future. There are currently 1.4 billion people living in China. That's almost 5.5% more than a decade ago. But what has worried many in Beijing, the birth rate remains weak and the population is getting older. So the number of Chinese citizens between 15 and 59 has dropped by 7%, while the number of people over 60 continues to rise. Potential parents responsible for this demographic shift say many pressures make them hesitant to have big families.
Chen Chen is 7 months pregnant. And like many other women living here in Shanghai, having a baby has been a big decision. For us to have a child, we needed a certain financial foundation before we could consider it. Now my financial resources are enough to support a baby. As for a second, I have to see if I have the energy. According to China's latest census, its population has grown by 72 million since 2010. That may sound a lot, but it's the slowest birth rate for decades. In the late 1970s, a one-child policy was introduced to stop a population explosion. It worked so well that in 2015, it was replaced with a two-child limit. But not everyone is happy with that decision. I'm a mother of 2 children. Although I followed the call of our country to give birth to a second child, I actually regret this decision. Our finances are good, but the biggest problem is that no one can help us with our children. Many now expect Beijing to change the rules again in order to encourage more women to give birth. But China also has another headache. It's facing a decline in its working age population as the country gets older. The aging process has obviously quickened. From 2010 to 20, the total population of people over 60 has increased by 5.4%. China is still the most populous country in the world, but its slowing rate of population growth is raising fears of a demographic time bomb in the future.
And let's talk about this with journalist Fabian Kretschmer, who is joining us now from Beijing. Fabian, what are the political and the economic implications of this aging society?
Well, I would call the demographic transition by far as the biggest threat to China's
Thank you, Syed. Can you pause? Let's not spoil it.
Please, our opinions.
Go, Jan.
All right. So, if China would want to, like stop this decrease in the population, I think that they, like the main things what they should do is like they need to make like baby products like cheaper, and they need to get like mad daycares and stuff, and like babysitters, because that lady was saying, she's like, oh, our finances is good and stuff, but like nobody can help us, and like even like the other one was like, yeah, just like nobody.
Yeah,
can
the
help
other one was like, oh, I need to make sure I'm financially stable first before I
Yeah.
decide to have a
I mean, it's understandable. I think if they needed to have more children or a higher birth rate, they could just increase it to like a 3-child policy, because I think there are people, one, that they have like brainwashed and will just do whatever they want, so they will have another child, or that just already wanted another child. I think just like having no limit would just increase the birth rate, because I mean, in the US, there's like the people that have no children, and then there's the people that have like 4 or 5. And I mean, that brings the birth rate up. So I feel like it's not like it's an impossible problem to solve.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of clear that like if there was no limit at all, that people, it's not like people are just gonna magically have like 8 or 9 children. And you saw that lady right there. She was like, "Oh, I have a second child, but like now I'm like I kind of regret it because I don't have the support for it." So it's like the limit like doesn't really serve any purpose. It's not like a real limit. The real limit is economics, the economic thing, and you know, some people not having enough support to like have multiple children. So I don't think that limit's really doing anything. So just getting rid of it, I think, would be the best idea. And if you want people to have more children, you give more support to them in the ways that would help them have more children.
Exactly, Syed. That was very constructive. I also think the government should do a lot of incentives. I mean, China will do what China wants to do, and Chinese propaganda will probably reign through, and the people will probably suffer for more children. But the government needs to provide money for these extra children, like the United States. That would be a good thing. But I come from a point of view where I don't see the Chinese Communist Party growing as a good thing. So I think China should just, just let it ride. Let other countries take its place.
Bro, before you were like, bro, China's population decreasing is like so bad, and now you're like,
no, I said China. It's bad for them, but it's good for us.
okay, so you
But
made
yeah,
it sound like
they
it was
can
like,
probably add incentives and make babysitting, as what Jan said, a viable career option, and make
bro.
teaching.
And also, like, I don't know, just like educate
Yeah.
your, like, I don't know, like educate how to like be a mom or something. Since like the lady was like, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing" or something. Well, she didn't even say that. She was just like, "There's no support." So like, what I took from that is like people helping her in raising the child. You know what I mean? Safe knows what
Yeah,
I
I
mean.
know what you mean.
I need to have some response, or else I'm.
It's okay, yeah. We all agree.
I don't know why you guys think this is such an issue in China, where the population is already so high. Like, China,
a
like,
problem
first of all,
for them.
needs to expand before it increases its population, because
Has
the
enough
cities are already
space.
like densely packed. Yeah, it has a space, but it needs to like build cities within that space, which it hasn't. That means before they do that, they need to increase the cities,
With the
number of cities.
Chinese
I
Communist
think
Party
they're more
probably-
scared of the trend than the actual numbers.
Mhm.
Like they don't like. I don't think a 5% increase in the amount of older people or whatever, and 7% decrease in the amount of younger people. Do they really like that? I don't think that they really care about that. But
What's the global population?
The global population.
Global power.
Oh, it's 7.8 billion.
Oh wow, it goes up pretty slow. I thought it would reach 8 soon.
That's a lot of people.
I think that what I noticed? People who are religious, like religious
They have
Muslims or
so
Orthodox
many
Jews.
babies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why like in Europe, the Muslim population is outpacing the. I mean, it's still like far behind, but like the reproductive rate is much higher than those of like Christians, because most of Christians are not really like religious.
Secular.
And same with Jews. Yeah, they're secular. And that's why the population is increasing so much, because there's a rise in just like not wanting kids. Before, like there was an incentive to get kids. It wasn't like a money incentive; it was a religious incentive, because that's the rule. You become a good person and build a family. Now there's not such a thing.
It's like
So
in
I guess-
Israel, right? They have a lot of children.
Yeah, in Israel they have a lot of children.
I mean, well, I don't think it's just that. I think there are other like economic factors that contribute to the same thing. But I mean, yeah, it's undeniable that there's like religious factors. I don't think it's Christians, but I mean, it's more like people saying that they're Christian when they're not really religious. They're agnostic, but they're in the church or whatever.
Most agnostic people are just Christian, though. Like I think, no.
Yeah, well,
What does
I think
that
there's some
mean?
agnostic Jewish people, but I think most Muslims aren't like actually Muslim. A
Can
lot
you
of
be ethnically Christian? I don't think so.
Not really.
I mean, like people
So you're
just
technically like Christian if you're agnostic.
people like
They're not, but they'll say they are, or they're like,
Christian identifying agnostics.
no, I mean like
Mhm.
they're not, but like when you ask what religion are you, they'll say Christian when they don't go to church or whatever.
Yeah, so they're basically just people who don't know anything about the religion, but they say they are that religion because they have like relations to it because of like their mom being that religion or like their dad being that religion. Like I know like so many
I
people
don't
like,
get it that much.
and like they don't follow it like at all. But like if you ask them like what religion are you?
I just call those people like non-religious people.
Honestly,
Like,
China's gonna have to
so-
incentivize having children, just like religion kind of incentivized having children for
How would they do
people like
that?
100 years ago.
Like yeah, how
Crazy.
they incentivize that?
Like
It's gonna
lower
be a long
taxes or something.
process. Yeah. Tax rebates. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. They're just gonna have to do that.
Yeah. That was a good conversation about China. Our last topic for the night. Let's see what it is, Syed.
There's two, but, you know.
We'll
Six
just do this
Flags
one.
Guest kicked over a tiger.
Oh, this one's really interesting. Basically,
Bro.
this woman was wearing really, really short shorts, as you can see from the image. And Six Flags said, no, you can't wear that.
Were they that short though? I mean, they look pretty short, but like
They're super short, but we all know that I've seen people who are shorter in school.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, honestly, no. Like there are no dress codes now, which
Well, I've seen females.
what Cameron say it? Say it again. I've seen females. Is that it?
Yeah, and then he's just
That's what I'll say. I've seen females where it, bro. I've seen Moran dress code people. He really does. I've seen when it was that bad.
no, but sometimes it's like excessive though. Like at some point you were just wearing a bra, and just like
No, that's why I think it was like this short. I don't remember. I remember having once. I saw Duran.
Do you guys think private property has the legal authority to enforce a dress code?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so do you guys think this is justified?
You can argue whether it's harassment or
Bro,
not.
this
I
is
mean,
so
you're allowed to
short.
do it.
no, that's not like social. That's like everyone now though.
Yeah, but
Okay,
okay,
man.
to be fair, there's the woman next to her that's wearing much longer, shorter, like shorts.
Like what defines very short? I mean,
You
in
can't
this
even see.
culture,
You can't see them that well because their legs.
This
are
is not
broad.
kosher. No way, this is kosher.
no, in this culture, I'm saying like
Do you think like that boy is like? I mean, I did not know that was a boy,
child.
but I mean he is like normal size jean shorts on.
Are those baseball shorts?
yeah,
Baseball
that kid has like
shorts?
very, very,
Sorry.
very, very small shorts.
Baseball shorts go down to like your knees ish.
bro. I have the best solution for this. Wait, hold up, scroll up. Let me see the video again.
We could invent a new type of shorts.
No, let me just see the video. Let me just see the video. Because I
Well,
have.
people put this in like in a funny way. Like
No, I'm not trying to be
remember
funny.
when
Like,
this
this could actually work. Like it's mind blowing right now. Hold up, let me see the video. I want to see if there is a sweater in the video which belongs to the lady or to that kid next to her.
no, but you can't make her put on the sweater.
What
That's like
is fake? Like they record like.
Bro,
Yeah, but why
Bro, let me say my solution. Let me say my solution.
I'm asking for your information so that I can issue a criminal trespass.
They're saying her shorts are too small.
Yo, I agree with law enforcement, man. But I think that people have a right to wear whatever they want. But
You see,
Six
the
Flags
thing
has a
is-
right to enforce that.
The thing is, they let her in like this, right? They let her like it's not like they stopped her at the gate. I think that would have been fun.
Bro,
But they already said that they already let her go. Like nobody stops
Well, I
her.
mean, they
when
could have
she
not
enters.
noticed it.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
They
it's
walked in.
But if it's not that noticeable, is it that much of a problem?
people sometimes make it like excessive, but I think it's just the culture of right now. Like everyone dresses like
Yeah,
that.
but Six Flags has a right.
I mean, yeah, they could. I mean, I'm not saying.
I mean, they're allowed to do it, but I mean, I think it's kind of dumb.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean,
Bro, literally just go to like the gift shop, find yourself a sweater and tie it around your waist. Like you don't
Nah,
have
bro. Like no, but that's also like forcing you to like not wear what you're wearing.
Bro, they could just give her one if it's like such a big deal.
Yeah.
they should just give her more clothes.
Yeah,
What?
you're like you'll
There
lay
should be a
down
short butt
clothes.
shorts
Here,
section in
tie
Six
this
Flags.
around your waist. So we have like little kids here. We don't want them.
But Six Flags doesn't have the authority to give you clothes. They don't need to.
Hey,
They
but
could
they
just
have the
kick you out.
authority to tell you like to leave. Like if
Yeah,
they
they do.
if you really like are trying to be like good, then I would just do that personally.
But there's so many. Do you
No,
think
that
this
is a
affects
dog.
children?
Like
See,
if
here's
it's
the
really such a big
problem.
deal,
You see, one
like
can be
I
found
would just
saying
like let her to like go because like she's not causing
She
like
wants to leave, but the officers
yeah,
keep
she
telling
said
her
she
she
wanted
needs
to
to see
leave,
her
but the officer needs it,
identification
and then
first.
he needs the information to write a criminal trespass.
Well,
Why would you call that
that's
a criminal
excessive. That's
trespass?
so
That's
excessive.
So
excessive,
excessive.
but like
That is so excessive.
How do you trespass with
it
booty
probably
shorts?
it probably gets dismissed in court, is what I'm thinking.
No,
I don't
for
think
sure
you'd
it's
be-
not gonna
But
pass anything.
but like you wouldn't be able. I mean, you should use a public defender for that.
Okay, so she was told that she had to buy new pair. So
Oh,
probably
kind of a
had
weird
a way
thing. Like,
for her
oh,
to, but
So
like
she
she
called out
refused,
kind of weird.
and she wanted to leave.
But if they were
I think they should have just kicked her out. But like,
I think they did. She says they kicked her out.
because if she was trying to leave and then like how are you gonna like make someone like how are you gonna charge someone for trespassing or like while they're trying
well,
to
to
leave?
be fair, they said she was banned for life.
Okay, that's fucked up.
So I mean, they would.
That's just
Wait, no, what?
unnecessary. That's just unnecessary.
Okay. Well, or they said she was banned. So I mean, they would need her information to know what her name was, so they don't let her in next time.
What's the reason though? So stupid.
She broke
For
the
wearing
rules. I mean,
clothes.
I
Wait,
mean,
what defines the dress code? Like, how short is too short?
I feel like this is
oh
too
my god,
short.
they're gonna bring out
but,
the
like,
rulers.
They gave her the opportunity to buy new ones. She said no, and then she wanted to leave.
What do you
And they
mean? Why
asked
would
her
she
to,
have
like,
to use her money to enter?
Yeah, it's like that's just them forcing.
That's a
something
good
upon
point.
Thank you all for coming to the 5th installment of Youth Convos. Anyway, this was your host, Saif El Musalami, with the guest, Jan Kelmendi of BP Voices, the manager, Said Rahman, the events coordinator, Joseph Abramov, and the vice president, Cameron Nelson. Anyway, thank you for coming, and we hope to see you for the 6th installment. Bye.